Hey folks, Tim here from Rockout Videography again. Today we are finally getting around to our review of the Harbinger V2312 powered PA speaker monitors.
You know they don't make those anymore, right?
Yeah, I know.
So why are we doing a review?
Well, because they made like a gazillion of these things. They show up on the internet used all the time at great prices. Look, there's somebody watching the video now. Hey, they're thinking about buying a couple of these and they want an in-depth review.
Guess that makes sense.
All right, then, stick around. We've been using ours for a while now, and we are going to go through these in detail so you can decide if they are the right choice for you. If you don't already know, Harbinger is one of Guitar Center and Musician Friends' in-house brands. They've been making various types and models of PA speakers over the years. They have a reputation as being affordable, decent-sounding speakers. The club that we usually play at has had a pair of older 15-inch Harbinger speakers in front of the stage as floor monitors for years. I originally bought a pair of 8-inch Harbinger speakers to use as floor monitors for my band. We did a review on these, but ultimately they just weren't loud enough next to live drums. I had intended to return them and get a pair of the 10-inch speakers, but decided on these 12-inch VARI V2312s instead. When they were originally purchased, they came in cardboard boxes, packed in styrofoam inserts. A manual and a standard US electrical cord are included. Let's take a quick look at the features and the connections. These monitors have a 12-inch woofer and a high-fidelity compression tweeter. They are rated at 2,000 watts peak, but what really matters is the max output SPL, which is rated at 126 decibels. The frequency range is from all the way down in the 40 hertz bass range, all the way up to 20 kilohertz. This is all covered by a metal grille and encased in a plastic cab. The cab is shaped so that you can use these on their sides as floor monitors or standing on any flat surface. There are rubber feet on the sides and bottom to help with this. They can also be mounted on standard 35mm speaker stands. On the back, we can see where all the fun stuff is at. At the top, you can see the voicing controls. I've honestly just been using these in floor monitor mode, but if you choose to use them as your mains, these other options might be helpful in getting them to sound their best. Channel 1 and 2 are really basic, and the way I've been using them, channel 1 is usually all I need. They each have an XLR 1/4-inch combo input that can be configured to take a microphone, instrument, or line level source. This is a really great feature. Although instrument and line level signals both usually go through 1/4-inch cables, they are different impedance. The 1/4-inch inputs on these channels are also listed as TRS, which means that when configured as line level inputs, they can take a balanced signal if you're using a 1/4-inch TRS cable to connect them to a balanced line level output. Channel 3 is where you can connect auxiliary audio sources through either a 3.5mm cable or a pair of 1/4-inch line level inputs. You can use a 3.5mm input for stuff like laptops, MP3 players, or phones. You can go either mono or stereo with these 1/4-inch inputs. You can also use these to connect a keyboard if you want, since they're usually sending out a line level signal. This section is also where you control the Bluetooth connection. All of these channels can be used at the same time, including the Bluetooth. These monitors are basically 3-channel mixers. This is really very common in most monitors and keyboard amps. The last section here is where the basic EQ controls are located. There is a bass knob and a treble knob. Simple. Under that, we can see the link controls. I'm not going to go through all of this in detail because you'll get bored. The short version is that 2 monitors can be connected together in a chain, allowing you to use channel 1 and 2 on both monitors and send out stereo while controlling it all from the first monitor. This isn't something that I've had to use so far, but if you want to use these as mains for a small gig without a mixing board, this could be a very useful feature, as long as you don't need more than 4 instruments or vocals. At the bottom, we have our AC power input. Note that these monitors are rated at 110, 120 volts, 60 hertz. That means that if you try to take them to another part of the world like Europe, that has a 50 hertz electrical system, you'll not be able to use them without an expensive power converter that will probably cost a lot more than each of these monitors. The power on-off switch and the fuse compartment are also down here on the back. All right, that covers all the technical stuff, but are they any good? How do they sound? We did some tests to show how these sound in different applications, but before we do that, if you don't mind, please hit the subscribe and like buttons. It helps the channel grow, and the creators here on YouTube benefit greatly when you do this. Not just us, everybody does. And if you're into nerdy music, sci-fi, and fantasy themed t-shirts, we have a bunch of original designs for sale in our merch store. Thanks. So, all of these vocal tests that we're going to be doing here are being shot on a Canon G50 with a Rode Video Mic Pro mounted on the camera and connected to it. These Harbinger monitors do not have any built-in effects, so what you're hearing right now is just a dry signal, and of course there's some reverberation from our room. It's set to the vocal boost mode. So, la 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 la. Obviously I'm not a singer, but that's what it sounds like. These things are good for vocals, and obviously for any kind of speaking engagement, they should be pretty clear and they should be pretty loud. So, how do they sound through a keyboard?
For the keyboard test, it's a Yamaha MX489. The keyboard's line out is going into the monitor's line in, and the EQ is set to flat.
How about bass guitar? What do they sound like if you're plugging a bass guitar directly into them? So I have the Squier Affinity PJ bass with round wounds, because that's what most of you all are playing out there. And I have a JHS Pulp and Peel here as well, but that's off for now. So it's going right into the 1/4 inch input set for instrument level, and the EQ is still set to flat. And see what it sounds like. All right, here it is with the Pulp and Peel engaged, and this is a compressor, and I have the tilt EQ set to give it a little bit more low end. See what it sounds like. So if you're needing to go directly into these for some kind of small gig and have your bass to it, yeah, it sounds pretty good, I think. And could you use it just as a bass amp? Yeah, obviously you could. So there you go. There's the bass guitar test. So what about using them as a full frequency, full range speaker for a guitar amp sim pedal? Do they work good for that?
For the guitar test, it's going to be done on a Squier CV70 Strat with various pedals, and it's all going to be run through a Joyo California sound amp sim pedal. So first, dry with a low reverb. Bit of drive on it.
So just what are these Harbinger monitor speakers good for, and are they the ones you should get? In my opinion, these are great speakers for the price. I know that some people are going to say that they suck and that you should save your money and buy something better. They're going to bring up brands like JBL, Yamaha, QSC, Bose, and Electro Voice. I have a pair of 12-inch JBL Eon speakers myself, and I do think that they sound a little bit better than these. I bought them as my mains because the sound going out to the crowd is more important to me than what I'm hearing through my monitors. But they only sound a little bit better and cost around $500 each. I didn't pay anything close to that for my Harbinger's brand new. And even the Harbinger VARI V2312 monitors are going for about $350 right now. You can obviously pick up a pair of these used 2312s for a lot less. These 2312s don't sound amazing, they just sound good. If good isn't good enough for you, then you should probably save up your money and buy something either new or used that costs more and has a quality that you desire. If, however, you either don't want to spend or don't have the money to spend on really expensive PA speakers, these are going to be a great choice. Most people that come to see your band play wouldn't hear the difference between these and more expensive speakers anyway. And these are going to be loud enough for most gigs in small or medium-sized clubs. I know that's subjective and everyone probably has different opinions about what small and medium are, but they've been more than loud enough for my use. If you are planning to use them as floor monitors, they're going to work great, unless you're some kind of audiophile who insists on hearing every little detail that no one else cares about or notices. We have been using them as floor monitors at band practice and here in our studio for our bi-weekly jam sessions. So far, everybody really likes the way they sound and have no complaints. As we demonstrated, you can use them with a variety of instruments and can either connect them to a mixer or just use the available inputs depending on how many instruments and vocals you need to connect. For presentations and speaking engagements, these would be a really powerful and cost-effective solution. This is where the link feature could be really useful, as you could run both speakers without a mixer and have up to 4 people speaking through microphones. In my subjective opinion, these Harbinger speakers hit that sweet spot where quality and price come together. If you want more expensive, better quality speakers, the law of diminishing returns really starts to come into play, causing you to pay increasingly higher prices for small increases in quality. If that's important to you and you have the money, go for it. If, however, you want a great deal on good sounding used speakers, you should find a pair of these, or just one if that's all you need, and make the purchase. Although I bought these as floor monitors, I would have no problem using them as mains for a show if I had to. Please let us know in the comments if you have any experience with Harbinger speakers and what they were used for. Did you like them? If I missed something, which I usually do, again, let us know in the comments. I also want to take a moment to thank all the amazing people who've been subscribing, liking, and commenting on our videos. It's because there are so many cool people in the world like you that the channel continues to grow, and we want you to know that we really appreciate you. As always, we hope you found this video helpful, useful, and entertaining. Until next time, have a great day.